You're listening to InsideLebo, a podcast giving you an inside look at Mount Lebanon, Pennsylvania, produced by Mount Lebanon's Public Information Office.
Hello and welcome to InsideLebo. I'm your host, Assistant Municipal Manager and Municipal Planner Ian McMeans.
And I'm Public Information Officer and Mount Lebanon Magazine Editor-in-Chief Laura Pace-Lilly.
Today we're very honored to have two guests with us from the Mount Lebanon Police Department.
Welcome to our new Deputy Chiefs. Welcome to Dan Cuiffi and Steve Ruby.
Good afternoon.
Thanks for joining us today.
Hello.
So, can you tell us about your kind of background in public safety before you came to Mount Lebanon to kind of introduce yourselves to the community?
Sure.
This is Dan.
Yes. This is Dan. I started off after college. I went to Edinburgh University for my undergrad in criminal justice, and then went to the Allegheny County Police Training Academy, and then got a job in Wilkinsburg, where I spent 24 and a half years as an officer there, and I had a little bit of a lot of experience in investigations with running our criminal investigations unit over there, and involved in various other things as far as task forces and a lot of interagency work. And then once I retired from there, I got my master's degree at West Virginia University in legal studies, and then got a position as a corrections criminal investigator for the Pennsylvania Department of Corrections. I spent 3.5 years with them before this opportunity came up, and I jumped at it, and it turned out pretty well, I say.
Yeah.
And our police chief, Chief Haberman, had some history in Wilkinsburg too.
He did. Right around the early 2000s, him and I worked together briefly there. Before he had moved on to another agency. But yeah, I've known him for a long time, and know that he's a well-respected law enforcement entity throughout the Pittsburgh area.
All right, Steve?
So I attended Duquesne University. I majored in sociology there with a concentration in criminal justice. Right after college, I had the opportunity to work for a few different places, one in community corrections, where I dealt with offenders who were, I guess you would call it a halfway house, where they were getting released from prison. And so I was basically working security there, with always having the thought in my back of my head that I wanted to be a police officer. So I ended up getting hired by the Broward County Sheriff's Office in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and that's where I went and I attended the police academy there. I was there for a few years and decided I wanted to move back closer to home, to be closer to my family and friends here in Pittsburgh. So I moved back and I worked as a part-time police officer in North Braddock and Swissvale before being hired by Mount Lebanon in April of 2011. Since I've been here in Mount Lebanon, I've worked as a patrol officer, a field training officer. I was a corporal, a lieutenant, and now I'm here as the Deputy Chief of Police of Operations.
Now, you both carry the title of Deputy Chief, but you have different roles and different, add-ons to your titles. So, Steve, you are the Deputy Chief of Operations. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what that entails?
Sure. So, my role is to oversee the patrol division, the traffic services unit. I'm also in charge of the officer wellness program. I coordinate all of our department training. Oversee the FTO program, the K-9 program. I'm also in charge of our new hire testing and our recruiting and retention committee. So I think that's
quite a bit of work. And I remember when we had Chief Haberman on shortly after he got the position, he talked about how officer wellness was a big initiative of his that he wanted to push forward. So I'm sure that's no small task amongst everything else that you do.
Yeah, especially in our current environment, it's a really important undertaking, something that we really want to expand on here in Mount Lebanon.
Yeah.
Okay. And Dan, you are the Deputy Chief of Support Services, so why don't you tell us a little bit about that role?
Well, it's not as exciting as what Deputy Chief Ruby does, but I have my responsibilities, I guess. But no, I oversee community outreach, which includes over 500 programs that Corporal Ty Kegarise does throughout the municipality, especially in the schools with the young kids and everything else. And I also oversee this school resource program. Another task that I have is to oversee the investigative services unit, the records department, fleet management, various computer programs, and a lot of our technology. And also, both of us work closely with the chief with regards to the budget.
Oh, that's exciting.
That's a lot of fun. That was sarcasm.
Well, it is December, which is the time of year when our budget gets approved. So shameless plug, if anyone wants to learn more about the Mount Lebanon budget process, go back and listen to the episode of Inside Lebo with Finance Director Andrew McCreary. And additionally, if anyone wants to learn more about the school programs that the police department puts on, we did an episode of the show with Corporal Kite and Corporal Kegarise. So you can also go back and listen to that.
Great.
So I think we're going to take a short break here, and we'll be back with more with our two new deputy chiefs. Welcome back to Inside Lebo. We're here with Deputy Chief Dan Cuiffi and Deputy Chief Steve Ruby from the Mount Lebanon Police Department. So you both mentioned that you worked in other places before coming here, actually both in the Turtle Creek Valley. So what made you choose Mount Lebanon amongst all the other opportunities that were out there?
You know, I was intrigued by the opportunity to grow as a manager. I was working my way towards a regional manager's position in the Department of Corrections, but when this opportunity came up, I took that as getting back into real law enforcement. Not that investigating for the Department of Corrections is not real law enforcement, it certainly is, but I always liked the municipal aspect of policing. I liked the camaraderie amongst individuals, you know, and with the DOC we did a lot of work on our own. We were kind of independent investigators, and we traveled all over the state. But coming to Mount Lebanon, I knew that the reputation that Mount Lebanon had as a progressive department, and it's one of the larger departments in the county. So I thought this was a good opportunity for me to, grow as a leader, and also a great opportunity to work for Chief Haberman. Him and I had talked extensively about this opportunity, and we. My wife and I decided that I should jump into this.
Everything's a family decision. I get it. Yeah, absolutely.
So it was a big decision, though. I mean, I was with the DOC for 3.5 years. I was in the mix, and I was comfortable. And this was quite a leap from that. Although I've done managing prior, I have taken on a lot more responsibility, and I embrace those challenges. And like I said, I enjoy the camaraderie of street cops. You know, that's something that's ingrained in me. So,
Deputy Chief Ruby.
So along the same lines as what Dan was saying, for me, it was absolutely the reputation of the police department in this region. Anybody who I ever spoke with or knew in law enforcement, if you brought up the Mount Lebanon Police Department, all I ever got was positive feedback and what a great police department it was, and how the community and the administration supports their officers. And I looked at it as a great career opportunity. So those are the things that attracted me here.
Why don't you tell us, both of you individually, because I don't know whether they cross or not, what is it about your job that you love? Are there things about your job that get you excited, that you enjoy, that you love?
I like the fact that every day is unpredictable. I can come in with 0 on my schedule and have a meeting with the chief and Deputy Ruby, and the next thing you know, we're just hitting the ground running for the rest of the day, and the next thing you know, it's 4:30, 5 o'clock. So the challenges a lot of those assignments present to us, I think it's pretty good. And the nice part about the unit that we have, and when I say unit, I just mean the Deputy Chief and I and Chief Haberman, it's a collaborative effort. Although Chief Haberman has the last say in everything, there's a lot of collaboration that goes on behind the scenes, and he's given us an opportunity to come forward and give our opinions and make decisions and take a little bit of the burden of everyday operations off of him, so he can concentrate on what he needs to concentrate on. So I think think it's been a good mix, and I think we fit really well together. I bring a lot of experience and life experience with me. We have a very young department, which is great, and it's exciting. That's an exciting part of this job, being able to mentor young guys and maybe tell a story here and there, and I'm sure they enjoy it to a certain extent, but
Deputy Chief Ruby?
Yeah, for me, the best part of my job is the relationships with the men and women that work for our police department, and also having kind of come up through the ranks from within. I think that in my position now, I have a unique perspective in that I can see things, having done most of the jobs of issues or problems, and now I actually have, I guess, the authority or the ability to change things and make things better. But I would say overall, it's just every day coming in, like Deputy Chief Cuiffi mentioned, we have a young department, and just the opportunity to build relationships with them and mentor them in their careers is probably the best part of my job.
Cool. So since you're both relatively new to your roles, do you have any big goals for the department over, your tenure as deputy chiefs?
Right now, I think it's just to promote the agenda of the department and the municipality, and to assist in that promotion. There's a lot of good things going on. I think that the development of young officers is exciting for all of us. I think the nice part about what the administration does in this municipality and the department is give people opportunity, and that's what we've done. And we've started some things within the department that we're giving officers an opportunity and a voice and a say-so in where the department goes moving forward. And I think Deputy Ruby, with his initiative on wellness, I think that's a huge focus of the chiefs especially, but he's done a great job with that. And the training and our promotional exams that we've come up, we've actually and he can speak more of this, but we're actually looking outside the box, and we're not trying to be traditional with regards to promotions. We're trying to challenge our officers and make it even across the board. So I think that those are great things moving forward.
I think for me, we had both mentioned that one of the reasons that we wanted to be in Mount Lebanon was the reputation of the department. So for me, one of my main goals would be to expand upon that and make sure that that great reputation remains intact and continuously moving forward, ensuring that we're on the cutting edge of any new technology, encouraging positive community engagement, and to expand upon the promotional testing process in regards to that. Across not just our region, but across the country, a lot of promotional testing is sort of a standardized thing where candidates are given a book or a group of books to study and prepare for the exam, but oftentimes the information in those books isn't necessarily applicable to their actual job duties on a day-to-day basis. So what we're trying to do is make a more custom test to where we're actually testing our candidates on their ability to do the job here, and not strictly their ability to retain information from a textbook. So,
and I think in that the direction that we're going, and we're actually kind of with promotions, we're trying to foster future leaders of the department to take over for the chief and the deputy and I as we move forward. And we know that when we have these kind of examinations and the candidates we draw off of that, these promotions, that we know that when we're gone, and I've only been here a short amount of time, but I can tell you there's some very bright guys across the street, and women. When I say guys, I mean guys and girls. But this department is set for the future, so it's nice to be a part of that.
That's great. That's very encouraging to hear for us and for our residents as well. So one last question. If we have people out there who are listening who maybe want to learn more about the Mount Lebanon Police Department, how it works, how it operates, what's the kind of best way to go about doing that?
Yeah, I would say we have our Citizens Police Academy every year, and that would be the absolute best way to learn the ins and outs of our department, and I would encourage anybody who has an interest to apply for that.
Great. That's a wonderful program. We've heard very good things about it, so that's awesome that we're continuing to do that. So I think that's it for this week's episode of Inside Lebo. Tune in next time for more information about what's going on in your local government.
Thank you for joining us. This edition of Inside Lebo is produced by Carrie Monio, music by Drew Monio, and graphics by Chris Lieber. Once again, thank you for joining us.
Have a great holiday season, everyone.
Thanks for listening to Inside Lebo, produced by Mount Lebanon's Public Information Office. Learn more about all things Lebo at mountlebanon.org or by following our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages.